इंदौर। मैं हूं मनस्वी और आप देख रहे हैं इन्फो अनप्लग्ड। आज का इन्फो अनप्लग्ड का ये एपिसोड बेहद खास है क्योंकि हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं ना ही सिर्फ इंडिया के बल्कि वर्ल्ड के यंगेस्ट हेडमास्टर। जी हाँ, जिनका नाम है बाबर अली सर। 9 साल की उम्र से बच्चों को फ्री में पढ़ा रहे हैं और आज तक उन्होंने कई सारे बच्चों को फ्री में पढ़ाई करवाई है और काफ़ी उनकी मदद की है। और सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि सर को 19 साल बहुत ही जल्द कंप्लीट होने वाले हैं ये सेवा करते हुए। तो आइए हम सर से जानते हैं उनकी जर्नी के बारे में, किस तरह के सेटबैक उन्होंने देखे और किस तरह वो खुद को मोटिवेटेड रखते हैं। इस बात से हम सभी वाकिफ़ हैं कि आप सिर्फ 9 साल की उम्र से बच्चों को पढ़ा रहे हैं। सो वन थिंग दैट आई शुड बी आस्किंग यू, आई थिंक so many people want to know, is that what pushed you to do this? What made you realize that I should teach people, I should teach other students?
So, at first, my sincere thanks to you for this invitation. So, you see, I am coming from Murshidabad district in the state of West Bengal, and Murshidabad is one of the poorest district, and it is near Indo-Bangladesh border. So, more than 18 years ago, I mean, you already mentioned that this 19th October, we are going to complete our 19 years of journey. So it was in the year of 2002 when I was a student of class 5 and a boy of 9 years old. My father, he admitted me 10 kilometer far away school. So my father, he was a school dropout, but he had a great interest about education. So after returning from my 10 kilometer far away school, I saw the children like my age, they are working in the fields, grazing cattle, or they are collecting garbage as the rag pickers. The girls, they are working at their houses. So I collected 8 of them, include my sister, and started teaching whatever I have learned from my own school. So under a guava tree in my family backyard. So basically, if you ask me in one sentence, so that was, I love to teach children, and I realized that the realization that I myself getting education, but if I can do something for others, it will be better for our society. So these two things, love and realization for others, it makes me to continue my mission.
Since you have started from a very early age, you were just 9 years old. So what kind of setbacks you have seen throughout this journey?
You see, different kinds of experience I have. So you see, when I started my school, my mother, she was the first person who came forward to help me. Actually, initially my father, he had an ambition to see me as an IAS officer. So literally he thought that if I can share my own lessons with others, maybe my own education is going to be hampered. So he warned me not to continue this work. So what I did, I gathered those children at a nearby village jungle. But my father, somehow he became convinced that he is doing a good work, and if he can do good for the society, God will help him. Even to teach others, he can also learn better. So my whole family, they came forward to help me. So on the other hand, the local Ramakrishna mission, this is 3 kilometers from my home. I visited there when I started my school. That time I was hardly 10 years old. I met with the monk of Ramakrishna mission, headmaster monk, Swami Gyanalokanandaji, shared about my work. That day he gave me a book of Swami Vivekananda and advised me to read that book. So from that book I got a quotation, service to man is service to God. It also inspired me a lot, and since then Swami Vivekananda, he is my inspiration and role model. So on the other hand, I had suffered much, struggled much, but I did not give up hope. I hoped against hope and fought tooth and nail to combat all the adversities. So you see, to bring the children, it was very difficult because the village elders were very skeptic to educate their children, as because they are not educated themselves. To send them, they use them as the earning member. To send the girls children, there was a strong reservation in our society. So when I pursued to the parents to send their children at our school, the first question I was asked that how education will be important, even who cannot afford 2 squares a meal in a day, and to educate girls, they will not find husbands. Actually, the early marriage problem.
Right, exactly.
On the other hand, the religious biasness, ill-motivated people, lots of discouragement to manage my own studies, to manage institutions. So different kinds of problems I have faced. But now I am convinced that nothing can stand against firm determination, firm conviction, and firm will. The only things you should have into your heart are courage, purity, honesty, and above all, love. So You see, actually, I heard the call of love in the core of my heart and proceed and ultimately succeed. And I always think that we should have the motto, we must do something extraordinary in this whole human life. And important line from Swami Vivekananda that I have achieved, that we must leave a mark on the soil in this earth. So these things I realize and try to implement in my real life.
And that's what keeps you moving.
Yes.
One thing you just mentioned, that your father always wanted you to be an IAS officer. So when you started teaching other students, was he little bit disappointed? How did he react?
Yes, that's why I already mentioned that my mother, she was the first person who came forward to help me. Yes, he was little bit, disappointed. That's why he wanted me not to continue this work. But I did the same thing, and then he realized. He also discussed with the principal, retired degree college principal. He was close to him, that my son is doing the work, can I allow him? And he told her, yes, your son is doing a good work, and if he can do good for the society, God will help him. You see, of course, an IAS officer, for that lots of struggle is there, but I realized that if I can do something for our, society as well, so it is the most, fruitful achievement for me. So my whole family, they also face different kinds of problems from our society, you see. But since my childhood to till now, they are supporting a lot. Without their support, it was not possible for me. And what they used to send the girls children, it was bring the girls children, it was the difficulties for us. Nowadays in our school there is 60% is girls and 40% is boys. And not only that, this 19th October we are going to complete 19 years of journey, and more than 6,000 students, they have received completely free education. And our former students, after their college and university degree and teachers training degree, they became the teacher at our school, including my sister. So these kinds of success and sustainability we are bringing throughout our school.
That's something that you should be really proud of, right?
Yes, yes.
One thing, since you started teaching at the age of 9 and you were teaching students of same age as yours, so how did they react when they thought, oh, my friend is going to teach me? So how did they take it?
Yes. So you see, when I started my school, that time in West Bengal, the academic session was May to April. Nowadays, the academic session is January to December. So I started 19th October 2002. So after my annual examination, it was happened in 2003, March. So in April, I decided to inaugurate my school.
Okay.
So I collected sari from my mother and the village women, made a pandal, and asked that retired degree college principal who was close to my father to inaugurate that school. And he did that. And then I asked him that what will be the suitable name for my institution. Then he suggested me that in your school, students are taking their classes in joyful atmosphere. So it should be Anando Shiksha Niketan, the home of joyful learning.
Okay.
So basically the students, they were younger than me or they are same age. So basically they took their classes or lessons in joyful atmosphere. So joyful atmosphere was possible from there. And you see, though as a teacher it was a joyful atmosphere, as the headmaster I took it as a serious thing. It was not just a game. So, and of course joyful atmosphere, and you see our school, there was no, it was under the open sky. So from 2002 to 2015 it was in our family backyard, and it was almost under the open sky. And from 2016 January we were able to build a building from the well wishers across our country. Now there is very good infrastructure. Now our schools, it also got affiliation as per Right to Education Act in West Bengal, under West Bengal Board of Secondary Education. Nowadays I started with joyful atmosphere. Of course it will continue, because nowadays the holistic education is most important thing. So that our institution will continue. Apart from that, as I believe that education is not a bookish knowledge, not a pack of information, but it is man making. So we are trying to give the man-making education throughout our institution so that they can become a real man who can positively impact our society.
Since you are called the youngest headmaster in the world, how does it feel?
Of course, you see, any kind of good recognition, it makes you happy. So I also felt happy and of course felt proud also because BBC recognized our work throughout the world. And of course it gives me more responsibility to do many more works, even to continue my mission also.
Since you have mentioned your mission, so I would like to know what is your other mission now? What are your goals?
Before that, I want to mention one message for our younger generation. That is, go on bravely. Do not expect success in a day or year. Always hold on to the highest. Be steady. Avoid jealousy and selfishness. Be eternally faithful to the cause of truth, humanity, and your country, and you will move the world. And these two lines should be embossed on the tablet of our mind. That is, mileage to go before I sleep and mileage to go before I sleep. So, education for all with equal opportunity. This is my dream. But you see, it is not only possible for me. If the younger generation like you or the like-minded people like you, if you can come forward for the children who are still need education, then only it is possible. So we need to work together. And during this COVID pandemic situation, mostly people are dependent on online education. This is okay for this time being, but this is not the ultimate solution, because for our holistic development and all-round development, we need face-to-face interaction. This is also important. So education for all with equal opportunity, this is my dream. So if we can work together, then only it is possible.
Since you have been a TED speaker, also TED Talk speaker, right? Is there any message that you would like to give to others?
You see, throughout, right now I am 28 years old. So since my childhood, people keep inviting me. I visited different places across my country, almost more than 100 places. I also visited 8 different countries also. So you see, wherever I am invited, I just want to share my mission, and I also want to try to motivate our younger generation. Of course, our own establishment is necessary in our life. That is okay. Of course, to make our career, this is necessary. They can, apart from that, if we can become a real man, that is most important thing. So you see, and of course I can share one thing, that when I became TED fellow and they invited me as a TED to speak in TED, even I did not know that what is TED. So when I went there, it is such a very big platform, and that time I did not know how to speak in English. So I delivered my interview in Bengali, and one delegate from Bangladesh, he translated it in English. Actually, I learned English alphabet from my father when I was in 5th standard, not from the school. And then I promised them next year I will speak in English. So I learned English through conversation, though I did my double post-graduation in English and history, and I want to be a student forever.
That's a really amazing thing that you said in the end, that I always want to be a learner. So that's it for today. One thing before concluding, I would like to ask you is, that's the 4th time you're coming to Indore, right? So one thing that you really loved about Indore.
Yes. So you see, I already mentioned you that in different places I visited, and it's my privilege. I am always feel happy to share my journey. So Indore, at first I came in the year of 2013. From that time, the team who invited me, those people still now they are in my close contacts. Whenever I feel problem or anything, achievements, anything, I used to share with them. They are very, helpful person for me and my institution also. And since then I love to visit Indore. So whenever I am getting invitation, and I keep telling to the people that that Indore is one of the best place for me to visit. So I always love to visit in Indore. Yes.
थैंक यू सो मच वंस अगेन, और बिल्कुल आपका बार बार स्वागत है इंदौर में. नेक्स्ट टाइम भी आप आएँ तो वी वुड लव टू अकम्पनी यू. तो तो जैसा कि हमने सर से बात करके जाना कि किस तरह उनकी इस जर्नी की शुरुआत हुई, किस तरह के ऑब्स्टिकल्स उन्होंने फेस किए, पर किस तरह वो आगे बढ़ते रहे, तो मैं उम्मीद करूंगी कि सर की इस बात से हम में से कई सारे लोग मोटिवेट होंगे और कोशिश करेंगे कि सर के इस गोल को हम अपनी तरफ से किसी न किसी तरह से आगे बढ़ाने की कोशिश करें, लोगों की मदद करने की कोशिश करें। आज के इन्फो अनप्लग्ड में इतना ही, फिर मुलाकात होगी इन्फो अनप्लग्ड के किसी और एपिसोड के साथ। तब तक के लिए देखते रहिए और फॉलो करते रहिए इंदौर टॉक।